Show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and it's that time now to talk with the Master Gardeners at the University of Illinois Extension. I've got two of them here with me. On my right, one of them, Gwen Podeschi. Gwen, welcome back.
Hi.
Yes, it's good to have you back. Mm-hmm. And then on my left, we have, this time, Sandi Klein. Sandi, welcome into you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yes. It is good to have you in. I know you two are busy with the help desk, with the farmers market. Sounds like both of those are going to be winding down at the end of this month. What should listeners know about those services?
Well, they're still available. It's a chance to get your garden questions answered or find out a little bit more about gardening. The farmers market tent has been doing a giveaway whenever we've been there. We've been there about twice a month. So folks have won recipe boxes. Oh, and there are recipes to give away too there. So but we've given away garden tools and garden doodads and thermometers and all sorts of fun things. So stop at our extension tent. We don't have a tent right now because we're under the Chautauqua with the rest of the farmers market, but we do have a big orange banner on the kind of a throw on the front of the table, so you know that that's where we're at. So, and we get interesting questions come in. I had a friend of mine, and I went to talk this over with Mike. I actually paid a visit to the farmers market tent because Mike Haiti, who masquerades as he doesn't masquerade. He's a really good tree guru. But a friend of mine had a tree that she'd never had this before. It looked to be a flowering crab, and the birds always came and enjoyed the little tiny berries and things. And then all of a sudden, this part of the tree started producing apples that were about as big as a tennis ball. And she kept thinking squirrels were bringing apples into her yard, but they weren't. So anyway, I talked with Mike, and I'd never heard of this before. I've got a photo. I could give it to you and let you do it on.
Okay. You can hold it up to the camera
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So the tree is grafted high up, probably about 2 foot high. There looked to be 3 kinds of bark on that tree. And so Mike explained to me that with some ornamentals, they do graft high like that. The homeowner cut one of the branches off at some point, and it generated growth from the rootstock, probably.
Okay.
So that's where the apples were coming from.
Okay.
So it's very weird, but it is a strange in appearance, and you wouldn't think to look because you think the apples are coming from the top of the tree, which makes no sense with most grafting. But they're actually probably, and it had just grown much taller because it was rootstock that was much taller than the crab apple part of it. So it was really interesting. And then I was in the help desk. Sandi had an interesting encounter with.
We're in search of an arborist,
right?
And
that's local. That's close enough.
That's pretty local or close by, because we've had some questions about how do I need to help with a tree that I need to save,
Yeah.
And that's an arborist problem. So anyway.
Yeah, well, no, it's good that you folks are, trying to cover all the bases with that.
Yeah, and what we do try to do then, too, we've had, as I said, at the help desk, which continues every Thursday from 9 to 11 through the end of this month at the extension office, we've had a lot of what I call pernicious lawn weed problems this year.
Oh, yeah.
The gentleman on last Thursday brought in a big honking piece of goosegrass, and goosegrass is like crabgrass on steroids because the seed heads look really similar, but they're much bigger. And the root ball, you can hardly get the thing out of the ground without a shovel. And I think the size of what he brought in, he had to have dug it with a shovel. But anyway, we've had a lot of other just purslane or other lawn weeds. And as I was talking before we got on the air, I suspect that some of this is holdover from the drought. These things really set seed last year. And, it's always sad. I always cry when I see people spraying Roundup on weeds that have gone to seed, because I'm like, well, yeah, you'll kill those, but you won't come back and pick that up. And when you don't pick that up, you're just guaranteeing you're going to have a better crop for next year, because
Next year.
Roundup does not kill the seeds.
Yeah.
So, but according to what Kathy Knope and I were able to discover, the crabgrass preventer that you apply in the spring will help with that, at least, because it's a grass. Yeah. So, because, like most broadleaf weed killers wouldn't really help out. But anyway, we're glad to be helping some folks and kind of suffering with them through their garden woes and sometimes with their garden successes. So
yeah, no,
that's a lot of fun.
That's great that you have that service and that people are able to use it and seemingly do use it as well. Goose grass, I had not heard of this before. So yeah, really interesting. And yeah, good note as well with the weed killing substances,
right,
that if you apply it, then you got to also, it sounds like, go in and get the seeds out of there.
Right. And I don't know how it got the term, but I mean, I don't know how crabgrass, except it makes me crabby when I see it in my yard. And then
does goosegrass make you goosey?
I don't know. It makes me have to go get something really, because that is a very difficult weed to remove by the roots. It's just really hard to dig up. And then, I mean, there are things like, nutsedge and duckweed and all kinds of things in ponds. So yeah. But,
it's something interesting worth noting as well. Anything else you've heard from folks recently about recently at the help desk? Any trends you've noticed this year other than goosegrass?
No,
not particularly. Okay. Like I said, we did not have a heavy Japanese beetle invasion this year. At least I did not.
Okay.
And we didn't get any questions that I know of.
Okay.
So those have been sort of, and that's a benefit. If there's a benefit of the drought and the extended cold we had, that's a benefit of that. The other thing people comment to us is that their plants are flowering much earlier this year. So we've seen a lot of early flowering. I don't know about you, Sandy. I've got surprise lilies, and 2 of the batches are almost over with by now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. The daylilies.
Right.
Too.
The daylilies.
And the daylilies were so beautiful.
Right.
I think because of all the rain that we got.
Yeah, they had really good spring. They had really good color, not a lot of deformity and stuff. But this is a good time of the year. Speaking of that, this is a great time of the year to start thinking about splitting and dividing those perennials. Daylilies, irises, peonies, hostas can all be divided now. And I think we've got good enough soil moisture to, I don't know, what do you think?
I think I think that they would do fine.
My garden seems to miss all of the rain.
I really need to split stuff.
Yeah. But and that's a good practice. It's a good practice. And, and as Sandy said, a lot of the daylilies and things have quit blooming, and it's a good time now I always, and I have a lot of them, I always remove the old foliage, and that gives my fall blooming fall things, the things that I'm interested in the fall. It kind of gives the garden a different look. I've had a lot of tiger swallowtails in my yard this year.
Swallowtails?
Mm-hmm. Tiger swallowtails, the yellow butterflies, the big ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
I've seen one.
Yeah. And I've had
have you had monarchs?
I have had. I've got a monarch. Finally had some monarch caterpillars on my my milkweed.
Yeah, I saw
so they've been here, and I've had this one poor monarch that makes me sad because he's missing one of his front wings, and he doesn't die. And every time I find him struggling around the yard, I go and put him on a piece of phlox because I'm just so sad like that.
I know.
But there've been a few more butterflies this year, and I've noticed a lot more birds. I think the bird population is starting to kind of recuperate from the bird flu thing.
That's going to be encouraging, all of that with the butterflies, with the birds, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
When you were talking about splitting perennials, you were talking about laying down, essentially, or like relaying the garden essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that was sort of to freshen the look, kind of change things up a bit. Does it also help them thrive a little bit better now that they're in a fresher space?
It does. It not only that, but I mean, if you got some of those perennials, they're the boss, and they're going to take over your garden and make it look the way they want it to look.
This
is a way to get it.
Want to
under
thin them
control.
out. Yeah, you want to thin them out.
Yeah. Clear the canvas is how I like to put it.
Well, and it does make the plants healthier. Things like irises really benefit from not being crowded up, and because they will get rot and stuff more easily if they are.
No, makes sense indeed. Gwen Podeschi and Sandi Klein are my guests in this part of the WTIM morning show. Let's take a break. Coming up, we're going to talk about their Paint a Tree Walk that they've got coming up a few months from now, it looks like. We'll talk about that here on the WTIM morning show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Spring just has a way of putting a little more energy into everything. Brighter days, warmer air, and more reasons to get out and enjoy it. Your home should keep up with that. At Hickory Point Garden Homes, you'll have your own one-story duplex with bright open spaces, a private patio, and neighborhood walking paths just outside your door for that perfect stroll in the spring sunshine. You can spend less time managing your home and more time enjoying the warm spring days ahead. See what that feels like at Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, Illinois, and step into comfortable living for $55 and better.
Kate Hames here from PS Printing in Taylorville with some exciting news. Our printing business has moved to new, larger digs in the former milling millwork building at 405 West Main Cross. You'll still get personal service you've come to know from PS Printing since 1978, but in a larger space. We look forward to providing our complete printing services at our new location. Come check out our new location at 405 West Main Cross at the former milling millwork building. Online at psprinting.com.
Hi, this is Julie Sanchez with People's Bank and Trust. Hola, mi nombre es Julie Sanchez con People's Bank and Trust, and I am here to share information about our Save by Spending program. Save by Spending, round up, where we round your debit card purchase to the next dollar and put that change in your savings account. Also, our Save by Spending rewards program. You can earn cash back on all qualifying signature-based debit card purchases. Call 888-PBT-1954 and learn more about Save by Spending programs. At People's Bank and Trust, we put you and your savings first. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you buy and service with Trinity Automotive, you're getting more than a vehicle. You're getting peace of mind every mile. Our award-winning service department is backed by certified technicians who know your vehicle inside and out, so you can drive with confidence. Trinity is also commercial and business link ready with heavy-duty equipment and lifts to handle even the toughest jobs. And for extra convenience, enjoy free pickup and delivery within 30 miles when you buy your vehicle here. So come see us right off Route 29 in Taylorville or shop online anytime at trinitydodge.net.
Your locally owned Scooters Coffee at routes 29 and 104 in Taylorville are proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Tornado Give Back promotion. Scooters Coffee will donate the following to the Taylorville Sports Boosters. For each Tornado varsity football touchdown, they're donating $10. For each three-point shot in varsity Tornado boys and girls basketball games, they're donating $3. And for each varsity Tornado baseball and softball game, they're donating $5. Scooters Coffee Taylorville, thank you for your business. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast.
Nicole Patrick here, your local country financial representative at 1305 West Bresser in Taylorville. I'm proud to recognize the Lady Tornado student athletes that represent our community by being the exclusive sponsor of the ilsportswire.com Taylorville Lady Tornadoes Player of the Game this school year. At the end of each game, a Lady Tornado will be selected to receive a certificate for being named our Player of the Game, and they'll be featured in a highlighted reel on the ilsportswire.com social media platforms. Best of luck to all the girls' teams this season, and go Lady Tornadoes!
WTIM.
We're back on the WTIM morning show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue here with Gwen Podeschi and Sandi Klein, Master Gardeners of the University of Illinois Extension. And boy, they teach me a whole lot every month about all things gardening. And in particular, in a couple months, they've got the Paint a Tree Walk coming up. Sounds like something you folks have tried to put together for some time. Tell our listeners what they should know about it.
Okay. Last year we skipped our tree walk. We had other kind of irons in the fire. I think it was the Taste of Extension. But this year we're going to do a tree walk, and we've selected the Kitchell Memorial Park in Pana. It's a lovely old park, historic. And we met down there at our last Master Gardener meeting at the Chautauqua building and met with Kirby Kasner and another, Nathan. And he is
the park director.
Yeah, he's the one who is in charge of taking care of the park. And he is a real tree He's a
Guru.
real tree hugger guru.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that when they realized how many of the ash trees, and I don't know if you've heard of emerald ash borer, but it's really devastating, the ash tree population in Illinois, they decided to do something about it because they have several large ashes down there that are of historic significance or really just nice trees in nice spots. So they went to Morton Arboretum and applied for a grant and they were awarded the grant, and the Arboretum came down and visited the park. They were very impressed, which I was impressed that Morton Arboretum was impressed with Pena's, with Pena's trees. And anyway, they are working on some of them with some of the injection treatments and other things that they've been doing with that. So they're working on that. But at any rate, Nathan has a very big, deep love of trees. He provided us with a map that was about as big as this counter that he would like for us to be able to, when we go through and identify the trees, to kind of add those trees to the map. But I think people will enjoy it. It's set for the October 24th, which is a Saturday. It's generally, we'll try to do these between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. And it's at Kitchell Memorial Park. And we usually gather up a group of people and select 10 or 12 trees within a easy walking distance. I think they have like a loop there that Nathan recommended that will not be hard. I mean, you can certainly, if you have mobility issues, if you've got some way to get around, we'll try to help out. But anyway, we think that people will enjoy it. We try to pick a day in October when the color is good in trees, so you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to be looking at as far as autumn foliage.
And then, were you going to say anything more?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So in terms of the fall foliage in Illinois, or at least central Illinois, does it come like earlier or later than kind of the average?
It comes more later, I think.
I think
Later.
it's later, and I think it's gotten later. Last
Yes.
year, the color was not good at all, but because of the drought. But for the most part, we're not as late as Southern Illinois, but we're getting there. So we're not New England, first part of October. You've really got to wait, and that's why we usually have this sometime around the 20th of October.
Yeah,
is somewhere where we try to be as far as the date goes, because that's when the colors are about the best.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it sounds like you're going to hit the sweet spot as best you can with
right,
this
and
date.
hope for no rain. I mean, we've had really hot weather on those dates. We've had wind. We've had all kinds of things. Let's hope we don't get rain. That's the only thing you really don't want.
That's right. So yeah, rain, stay away on that day, please. So, and it sounds like what you were talking about with, this area in particular, it seems like there's been a lot of effort over a long time to kind of maintain that area well, at least in terms of the trees for, not only for the tree walk, but also just in general.
Right. And I think it's just, it's a nice, many of our parks, Manners Park here in Taylorville, those are historic parks that have been sites of parks for a long time. The Manners Park grounds were donated by a local family many, many years ago. I think originally that park had been the site of orchards and the past. But at any rate, they're great to visit. This is a great way to appreciate trees. It's also in a place like this, you're looking at the mature trees. So if you're thinking, hey, I think I would like to have a pecan or a Kentucky coffee tree, or just a different kind of tree other than just silver maples or whatever, it's a good chance for folks to get out and take a look and ask questions. A lot of folks come with questions about trees in their own gardens. We certainly get those, like Sandi said, at the
help desk.
Help desk. That's another big persistent question at the help desk is, help me with my tree. And so another thing we'd like to do is we'd like to I'd love to see more arborists in the area. Not enough to take the test myself.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'd love to see us be able to kind of put our hands on some more arborists.
Yeah. Gwen, Podeschi, Sandi, Klein, thank you both for coming on.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for listening here on WTIM.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Iran stubbornly holds on to its claim of sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran does signal